We back. It's part 2. Now let's go. What's up, Ocean? You got Matt here, coach of your MattOshea Milotic and your local League format enthusiast. Today I'm bringing you part 2 of my top 10 Mega Pokemon in the Draft League format. This is really a 5-to-1 this video, because we did cover 6 to 10 in the last video. So if you haven't checked that one out, make sure to go and check it out. It'll be linked in the description below, as well as a playlist with all the rest of the videos of the top 6 Pokemon of every single type series. Anyways, this video is going to be the final Mega part of it. After this, we have a couple other things to cover, a couple interesting topics. I have a lot of them, trust me, top 6s, top 10s, they're not going anywhere, I promise you that. But this has been a really long journey for me, so I'd really appreciate if you guys hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, because this is the conclusion of this series, guys. This is the last one, so I need you guys to make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, okay? Hit the like button, biggest thing, or dislike it if you didn't like the list, whatever. Anyways, let's just get started. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to talk about these Pokemon stats, abilities, move pools, their strengths and weaknesses, and hopefully that'll give you a lot of insight on how you could use them in the format, and maybe, just maybe, you'll draft one of them in your next draft. So this is also based off of my opinion, so if you disagree with anything, let me know in the comment section below. Interaction with you guys is always a must. I love talking to you guys, and the best way to do that is to comment and join my personal Discord server. It is called The Ocean. It is linked in the description of every single one of my videos. So go click down there, click on the link that goes to The Ocean, and join that server. Anyways, we talked about the numbers 10 through 6, so I'm not going to talk about them today. Again, if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. But for now, let's get started with number 5. At number 5, we have Mega Diancie, or Mega Diancie, however you want to pronounce it. I've used this Pokemon very briefly in the PPL Division 2, and I was not too impressed with it, but impressed enough to know how powerful this Pokemon is. I believe if I had more time with it, if I had enough of a team built around this Pokemon specifically, it could put in an incredible amount of work. It's got 160 in both of its attacking stats. That just alone is monstrous. It's got 110 in the rest of its stats that aren't its HP, and it's just extremely, extremely powerful. It's got a move in Diamond Storm, which is pretty much one of the best signature moves in the game. It has a 50% chance to boost your defense by 2 stages. That's ridiculous. So you do damage and you get potentially an iron defense off that. That's ridiculous. Anyways, it is stab as well, which is kind of cool, and it's got 100 base power, and I mean, it's coming from 160 base attack, which is pretty awesome. Overall though, you do get pretty good other coverage options. You get access to Moonblast though, which is amazing. Not a lot of fairies do get Moonblast. You get Earth Power for ground coverage, which is awesome because Steel types kind of wall you. You do get access to Calm Mind, which is very nice to have just in case you are running up against a potentially bulkier team. You get Power Gem for a special rock move. You do get access to Stealth Rocks, which is excellent, it's excellent support options. And you have access to Rock Polish as well, which is very useful because, I mean, gaining a bit of speed is really nice to have. And if you're hitting as hard as you are with Moonblast and Diamond Storm, you can potentially just sweep teams right then and there. Diancie overall has the speed and attacking stats of a really good wall breaker and a really good sweeper. The reason I prefer it over something that is almost equally as fast but hits harder, quote unquote, than Gallade is because it does have the option to be mixed, and mixed Pokemon really usually find a bit more love in the format, for me at least, just because you could be very diverse in what you can do. You do get access to Reflecting Light Screen, which is very nice to have just because, I mean, the support options are kind of endless with this Pokemon. And overall, I think Diancie has a ton going for it. Its ability in Magic Bounce is very nice to have because, I mean, you're going to be basically immune to hazards unless your opponent has Mold Breaker, which is just so invaluable, and it can really throw your opponent for a loop. They probably aren't going to spike stack you as much. If you have a Pokemon with Magic Bounce, you don't usually need another, like that many more hazard removers, because you do have something kind of dissuading them from bringing hazards. And that always kind of got to me. Its typing overall with Rock and Fairy is pretty cool. You're not going to be a very good defensive fairy because you only have that 50 base HP and you don't have any reliable recovery, but you are good enough. You're an offensive fairy type and you're offensive rock type. Usually you want to probably draft a defensive fairy to deal with those dragon types that are going to be a problem, and to deal with those fighting types that are going to be a problem for you. So Mega Diancie does have some underlying issues to it, mainly being Steel type. It's 4 times weak to Steel, which is kind of unfortunate, but what can you do? It's got to have some weaknesses, and I mean, if there wasn't Bullet Punch in the game, then this thing would be insane. It would be definitely higher up in my top 5. At number 4, we have Mega Scizor. Now, Mega Scizor is extremely powerful. It's one of the most diverse Megas that you could possibly have in the game. It's got really amazing stats with 150 attack and 140 defense, which is great. But then you have enough HP and special defense at 70 and 100 respectively to make sure that you can take hits from the special side as well. You've only got 1 weakness in fire. You are 4 times weak to it, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. But it's doable. You can last with a 4 times weakness to fire because not everything gets fire coverage. Not many people even draft fire types sometimes because the really good fire types are really, really good and the really bad ones are really, really bad. But The best thing about Mega Scizor is you can really create a set that's going to be so effective every single week. I would love to draft this thing. I think it's the next Pokemon I want to draft, next Mega I want to draft, and part of it is because, well, no, it's the second. It's second on my list for that. Number one will be later on the list. But the reason I want to draft it so much is because I can really optimize a spread to do whatever I want to do, with access to Swords Dance and powerful moves like Bullet Punch, because Bullet Punch is powerful because of its priority and because it has 40 base power, meaning Technician will boost it. But you have moves like U-Turn for momentum, which is excellent. You have Acrobatics to hit fighting types, which would be kind of cool. You have access to Defog, which is just incredible. Being only weak to one type in the game and having Defog just allows you to become a really reliable Defogger, especially when you get access to Roost as well. This Pokemon overall has so much going for it. There really is only one weakness, and that's just a fire weakness. Its speed is kind of lackluster, but that's okay because you do have priority in Bullet Punch. You also get Quick Attack as well. You get moves like Knock Off, which is great for utility. You have Iron Head as well if you want a harder hitting Steel type move. You have access to Pursuit to trap those Psychic types if they're trying to switch out on you. Superpower is excellent. U-Turn I mentioned before, and Tailwind for support is also great. This Pokemon overall is just pretty much missing, just like, in my opinion, like Thunder Wave or Taunt or something to become just incredibly overpowered. There's so much you can do with this thing, and there's really not much that this thing doesn't want to take a hit from. Overall, though, I think Scizor, it's lacking a bit of speed, and it's lacking just like immediate answers to fire, because you don't really have like a rock move to be able to take, like to be able to hit your opponent with to really counter that fire type Pokemon. You do get Power Rock, which is boosted by Technician, but I mean your base special attack stat is like 65, so you're not going to do anything with it. Anyways, though, Scizor is just incredible, guys. Definitely try and draft it if you can, but really remember to pair it with something that can resist fire. A lot of things that can resist fire, because Hidden Power Fire is going to come a lot. Anyways, though, let's move on to our number 3 slot. At number 3, we have a two-way tie between the two Charizards. Now, the two Mega Charizards are incredibly powerful. Let's start with X first. Mega Charizard X is the quote-unquote physical variant of Mega Charizard. It's got 130 attack, which is pretty low, you'd think. It's also got 130 special attack, so that's pretty cool. It's mixed, I guess. But with Tough Claws, you're pretty much always going to run this thing physically. Tough Claws, if you didn't know, it increases the attack, the power of physical moves, not physical moves, of contact moves, I should say, that make, well, moves that make contact by 1.3. So it gives them a 30-point boost in power, which is excellent. That's incredible. That's a Life Orb, if you guys didn't know. Like, if you thought Pokemon with Life Orb hit hard, Tough Claws just basically does that for moves like Dragon Claw, Outrage, Fire Blast, Fire Punch, Acrobatics, whatever it is. This Pokemon is insanely powerful. It's got really good speed at base 100, and the fact that you also get Dragon Dance just makes this thing so powerful. You lose the 4 times weakness to Stealth Rocks once you Mega Evolve, which is great. It's just useful to have. And with Roost, you can really make sure that you can get back a lot of health. You do get access to a ton of different stuff in Swords Dance as well as Dragon Dance, and to top it off, you do get a lot of awesome coverage, and you can be special as well, which is just so important and so invaluable to have. You get Brick Break, you get Crunch, which is nice to have. You get Earthquake, you get your Fire coverage, your Fire Stab, I should say, and your Dragon Stab, as well as moves like Home Claws, which is just, again, useful. Not that useful because you usually be running Swords Dance or Dragon Dance, but you get moves like Power Punch. You actually get priority in Quick Attack, which is Tough Claws boosted, by the way, and I believe Tough Claws is 1.3 times and Technician is 1.5 times. So you're going to be hitting pretty hard with your Quick Attack still. Anyways, overall though, you get a ton of awesome coverage options, a ton of awesome support options, including Tailwind and Will-O-Wisp, which is nice to have. A bulky Charizard X is a super underrated set to run. And look, I think Charizard really has a lot of things going for it. You gotta be careful with that Stealth Rock's weakness, but that's just Charizard X. So let's move on and start talking about Charizard Y. Now, Mega Charizard Y also is incredibly powerful. The big thing with it though is that it is 4 times weak to rocks though, which is kind of unfortunate, but it has a great ability in Drought. And when you pair Drought with 159 special attack, you're going to be obliterating things with Fire Blast, with Flamethrowers, with Heat Waves, whatever it is, you're going to be destroying things. And to top it off, you get access to Solar Beam, which is now only 1 turn charge, because, not 1 turn charge, but just it's a 1 turn move because of the Drought, which is just, it's phenomenal. Your biggest weakness was Water types. Well, Water types don't appreciate Solar Beams. Rock types, oh, they don't appreciate Solar Beams. So overall, Charizard Y especially, has so much wall breaking potential. One of them is a wall breaker, the other one's a sweeper in my opinion. And Charizard Y to me is the wall breaker, Charizard X is the sweeper, but of course Charizard X can play both roles. Its defense side is 78, and 78 is really lackluster, but it does make up for it with that monster space 159 special attack, 115 defense is pretty good, and 104 attack is good enough so if you do decide to run a physical set with Dragon Dance, you can. A lot of people will run Dragon Dance just to get up the speed boost with Charizard Y I should say, and then just fire powerful moves like Air Slash and Fire Blast, and of course your Solar Beams like I said before, even Focus Blast as well. Look, I think Mega Charizard Y is severely underlooked and, well, I guess not overrated, underrated, there we go. And I feel like people should draft it more often. There's not many switch-ins to this thing, and if you can find a good answer to this thing, well, let me know because I've been looking. So, yeah. Anyways, though, let's move on to number 2. The second to last Pokemon on this list is the one I want to use more than any of them, and that is Mega Lopunny. I have wanted to use this thing for so long. I've been sniped with it so many times, and it keeps getting closer and closer to me, so maybe I'll end up drafting it. So, the reason why I love this thing is because, one, its stats are pretty much perfect for a late game cleaner and for a wall breaker. You have 136 physical attack, which is really nice to have, and 135 speed, which is also really useful. Your defense at base 65 HP with 94 defense and 96 special defense isn't that bad at all. It's actually kind of underrated. Many people will think, oh yeah, Mega Lopunny can take hits. Well, it could kind of take hits. Its attacking moves, they're really basically, well, there's not very many of them. You have access to Baton Pass, which is useful to have, but overall the main attacking moves you're going to run are Fake Out, High Jump Kick, Drain Punch, Return of Frustration, Quick Attack, what else is there? Fire Punch, Ice Punch, and Thunder Punch. That's pretty much it. Yeah, like you're really going to only use those moves. There's not much else. And if you do use other moves, well, good on you. Probably Encore, Endeavor, and Facade are pretty useful to have as well. But overall, those are like the only moves you're going to use because Mega Lopunny doesn't need other moves. Its stab is resisted by 0 Pokemon. Normal and Fighting type is resisted by 0 Pokemon, which is insane to think about. And that's because of its ability Scrappy. Now, this Pokemon isn't like Mega MattOshea, which relies on a pure power to hit things insanely hard. It's insanely powerful, but Scrappy just makes it so I can hit more things instead of hitting things harder, which is just great to have. You can run Foresight for all I care, and you can have the same effect. Overall, Mega Lopunny has so much utility and value in it to be able to just obliterate teams. It's got agility, so you can speed pass with this thing if you really wanted to. And I mean, if you were that guy, you could say, screw it, I'm gonna slap Healing Wish on my Mega Lopunny and then heal up my Pokemon when I don't need my Mega Lopunny anymore. And it's just invaluable. It's so great to have. I think Mega Lopunny is not severely underlooked, but it's just, I feel like they've gotten sick and tired of it because of the emergence of those offensive fairy typings, mainly the Tapus, Magearna, and the Suck and the like. Yeah, anyways. So I think Mega Lopunny has a lot of things going for it, and people really need to take a step back and look at it and be like, yeah, this thing is good. We should probably use it more often. Anyways, though, that's Mega Lopunny. Let's move on, though, to our number 1 spot. And at number 1, we have the iconic Eon Twins, the Mega Latias and the Mega Latios. Yes, it's a tie again. Now, I'm going to cover Latios first because, honestly, I'm going to say this. I think Mega Latias is the better of the 2 of these Pokemon. And I think it's not even close, to be honest. But I'll cover them both because they're pretty similar in what they can do. Mega Latios has ridiculous stats of 80 HP, 130 attack, 100 defense, 160 special attack, 120 special defense, and 110 speed. It is so powerful. It can do physical stuff, it can do special stuff because of Dragon Dance, because of Calm Mind, because of a ton of other options. You get access to Roost and Defog, you get access to amazing coverage, you get your Dragon type, of course, Dragon Claw, Dragon Dance, Draco Meteor, and Dragon Pulse, there we go. You have access to Earthquake for Pokemon Heatran, which kind of wall you, and even Tyranitar as well. You have access to Energy Ball, which is nice to have, Ice Beam as well. You get Memento, which can help set up as well. You have Light Screen and Reflect, which is just insanely useful. Roost, like I said before, and Recover, which is just, I guess, Roost again. But you have Shadow Ball, which is nice to have. You have Surf, Tailwind is useful. You have access to Thunder Wave and Thunderbolt, which is just nice to have. Overall, though, Mega Latios has a ton going for it. I think it's one of the strongest Megas in the game. But the reason why I can't say it's better than Mega Latias, its counterpart, is because Mega Latias' stats are just placed in a much better position. There we go. And it has access to more supporting options. So let's just cover Mega Latias for now. Mega Latias has base 80 HP, 100 attack, 120 defense, 140 special attack, 150 special defense, and 110 speed. Now, you might be thinking, well, its attack stat is 30 points lower than Mega Latios, so it can't really be physical. And you're right, it doesn't have Dragon Dance, so it can't be physical that well. It could do enough physically, but really the insane thing about this thing is that it just does not die. You have to talk to this thing or hit it with a powerful Ice, Dragon, or Dark or Ghost move, or else it's not going to die. Like, end of story. This Pokemon is so fat, so bulky, with Roost, with insane coverage moves, with Calm Mind as well, Store Power. Basically, Latias just can be insanely broken, and if someone uses Mega Latias right, not only will it lead the league in kills, it'll probably be one Pokemon that is insanely hard to take down. Overall, though, the Latias' abilities in Levitate is just super useful to have. It's an immunity to ground types, which is just nice to have. It's just useful. That's pretty much it. And I definitely think the Latias are definitely deserving of the number 1 overall pick in pretty much any league you're ever in. Anyways, guys, that is my list. That is numbers 5 through 1. Of course, you actually did get 7 Pokemon with the extra Charizard and the extra Latios there. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this list video, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I make a ton of Pokemon content that I'm sure you will all love and enjoy. If you're a fan of Draft League stuff, then I'm your guy. I want to be that guy that everyone goes to and everyone loves to watch for their Draft League content, and that is me. Anyways, guys, let me know what your thoughts on the list was. If you guys like my list. Let me know in the comment section below. If you disagree with anything, let me know as well. That'd be cool to know. So yeah guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share the video with a friend, and I will see you all next time.